guys, welcome back to Skin Deep 101. It's your girl Renee, and today I'm gonna be starting my series on sunscreens. Yes guys, I've been hinting about it, I've been talking about it for weeks now, and the sunscreens are finally here. I'm gonna be testing out from high end to low end, both chemical and physical, just to see what are the options out there for us with darker skin tones. So I'm going to be testing the first one this morning. So now I'm going to start with my CeraVe PM facial moisturizing lotion. And yes, I know it's in the morning, it's daytime, but in the morning I try to use products that are as light and stripped back as possible, because we don't want to be walking around looking all greasy and extra oily and all of that. So I use this in the morning right before my sunscreen, so I'm going to be applying it now. And the sunscreen I'm going to be testing today is a physical sunscreen, and I'm actually quite excited because I've been wanting a physical option for some time now, because as you should know, or I hope you would know, the physical sunscreen works instantly, right? Because it actually acts like a shield, so the rays bounce off your skin, as opposed to the chemical one, which has to absorb into the skin. Usually it's recommended that you apply it at least 20 minutes before you're exposed to the sun, so it soaks into the skin, and then what it does is it absorbs the rays and then it bounces off in some chemical heat reaction kind of thing. I'm not trying to get all sciencey here, but that's in essence how the chemical versus the physical works. So for me personally, in the morning when I'm getting ready, it's a bit difficult to apply it 20 minutes before I leave the house. So I want to get something that kind of works instantly. So I'm pretty excited to be testing this one out, because I really would prefer to be using a physical sunscreen that almost works instantaneously. Other benefits of physical sunscreen are that they're ideal for sensitive skin, because of the ingredients that are in it: titanium dioxide and zinc oxide. Those are usually the two main ingredients in a physical sunscreen. And so today I'm going to be testing out the Purito Comfy Water. Woo! Yeah, it's SPF 50 plus, P plus, all those pluses. So yeah, pretty good. And so this one says it's oil free, no stickiness, light texture, 70% water-based formulation, 100% physical, and non-nano sunblock. The description says a comfortable unscented daily physical sunblock shields the skin from UVA and UVB, and a good way to distinguish between these: the UVA rays cause aging, and the UVB, those lead to burns. So a lot of the problems that we have really comes from the sun. So this is how important sunscreen is, guys. You cannot be using products that target hyperpigmentation or uneven skin tone, but you're going out into the sun, and then it's gonna just undo everything. All right, so you need a sunscreen that will shield both UVA and UVB rays. All right, so always ensure that your sunscreens say that, or broad spectrum. It says formulated with CICA, that gives the skin a moisturized finish without any stickiness and stuffiness. It's even for sensitive skin and babies, since it does not absorb into the skin. Great, so that's pretty much what this one says. And for those of you who don't know, Purito is a Korean brand, so it is a Korean sunscreen. A lot of us have been speaking about Korean products, because they're kind of taking over the market. There are still some issues with them in coming into the US, but for the most part we can get access to these. So this is the Comfy Water. This is the packaging. It is 2 fluid ounce, so pretty decent, and it is quite affordable. So this is actually one of the lower end sunscreens I'm going to be testing. Right, so I hope the lighting is pretty good. I'm in my car, and so what we really want to test is how this looks on the skin, right? Because we know that physical sunscreens usually leave a cast. They leave a white cast because of those two main ingredients that I was telling you about before. So we want to see how this one looks on the skin. So stay tuned, guys. I'm going to be back in a second to apply this sunscreen. Alright guys, so I'm back and I'm going to be, and just so you know, all of these videos are going to be my first impression. I want you and I are going to see it for the very first time. So I've never used it. As you can see, the tape is still on it, the cover is still on, the little foil. So I'm just going to remove that now, and I'm going to just put a little into my hands. Alright, I hope you can see the texture. And it is very white, so I'm a little scared, but let's see what happens. It's not unseen sunscreen, or oops, maybe I shouldn't have said that, but so it's not clear, it's white. So let's see how it works. And as you guys should know, you're not supposed to apply sunscreen liberally. You're supposed to really apply sunscreen to really get the coverage. You really need to be using a lot of sunscreen. A lot of us don't do that, or we don't reapply in the days. But please remember, you're supposed to kind of go hard, and you're supposed to reapply, especially if you know you're going back out into the sun. If you work in an office, so you're not really exposed directly, once you know you're going back on the road, ensure you reapply at least. Right, let's go. All right, very light, that's the first thing. Like, look at that. It just kind of melts into my hands. Very light in texture. And a lot of these sunscreens, you kind of have to work them into the skin. Just from my reviews, I kind of heard that this one is more suitable for oily skin. And I don't know, guys, it's not looking bad so far at all. You know, it kind of looked so white, so I was kind of scared, but it's not looking so bad. Pardon me, I'm gonna look up sometimes in my mirror, but it's not looking too bad. And by the way, I'm not using any filters. I don't use any filters when I film. But yeah, not bad at all. I'm gonna work it in some more. I still see a little of it, so I'm working it in. But I definitely love the feeling of this one compared to some others I've been using. As you guys know, I was using the Neutrogena Ultra Sheer for a little bit. Very heavy on the skin. It does have a little purple hue, but it can be worked around. But when I sweat with that one, then you would see everything kind of running down. But I think what I didn't like the most about it was just the heaviness. But this one is super light. I literally don't feel like I'm wearing anything. Like I'm not. It just feels like a moisturizer. It just feels like a moisturizer. But I don't know, guys. Can you see it? Can you see, guys? I'm not seeing a cast. Definitely not seeing a cast. I didn't apply a lot to my neck, but please remember, always apply your sunscreen to your neck. What do you think, guys? Not bad at all, not bad at all. Not bad. And I'm definitely going to be testing this throughout the day to see how it, you know, holds up. But liking this one so far. Definitely liking this one so far, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and apply another coat. I'm gonna apply another coat. Alright, so the lighting would have changed a bit because I did crack the windows so some sun would come in, you know, so you can see as best as possible how it looks in the sun. So the windows are back up, and you can see it still looks clear on the skin. It still looks clear. I'm gonna take up the phone. There we go. I'm gonna apply another layer. I'm gonna kind of use a lot now. you know, since we're supposed to be really using a lot. And even though I know, you know, a lot of persons say this one is suitable for, or really better for oily skin, I don't get the impression that somebody with dry skin would still have a problem with this, because it doesn't feel like, you know, like it dried out my skin or absorbed any oil, excess oil. Yes, it doesn't look very shiny, but at the same time, I don't think somebody with dry skin would have a problem with this one either. Oh, and yes, absolutely no fragrance, no scent. So sensitive skin, this one will work well for you. And the reason why I'm kind of going in with so much, I really want to test it. I really want to see how it works, because this is really the amount you're supposed to be using. You're supposed to be using a lot of sunscreen. So I'm going in with a lot to see if it's harder to work in. And so far, it does appear that way. As I said, guys, this is just my honest reaction on these products, because like you, I'm trying to find the best option. The best sunscreen is the sunscreen that you will wear every day. You will just be excited to apply it every day. So always remember that. It's not what me say or she say or all of them say. It's a sunscreen that just works best for you. So you just have to test a wide range of sunscreens. So I'm just out there trying to find them and share, you know, my experience with you. So yes, guys, so far it's definitely harder to work into the skin when you apply a lot. But it still doesn't seem like something you can't work around. As you can see, you're still seeing the residue even after I've kind of been trying to work it into my skin. It still leaves a little white residue, but it's not a cast per se. But yeah, it gets harder to work in when you put on a lot. You maybe have to spend like a good 5 minutes or so trying to blend, because I'm still trying to blend here. So you're seeing it's a little harder. Interesting. So this is kind of gonna be a difficult one to reapply in the day, because you're gonna have to have some time. But as I said, the only good thing is that the physical sunblock wouldn't require any time, like time for you to apply it before you can just apply and touch out. Still working it into the skin. I'm trying to make these videos as short as possible. So yeah, after what, 2 minutes or so now, this is there. Still seeing some residue on the skin. So yeah, that's something you're definitely going to have to note when you're using this one. If you're gonna use a lot, like you're supposed to, you're gonna have to be prepared to kind of work it into the skin. I mean, not that it's supposed to be, you know, absorbed, but you don't want to be seeing any product on your face like you just applied sunscreen. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to wipe this off, because I don't know if I have all morning to be working all of this, so I don't see anything. So maybe what I'd have to do is kind of just to get rid of the excess, because yeah, anybody got time for that? Here we go. So a little iffy about it. It really wowed me at first because of the light texture, and you know, it absorbed pretty quickly, but that is when I just use a little. But now that I've really gone in with it, it really does take some time to work in. So Purito Comfy Water, not bad, but I am looking for an option that is light, easy to absorb. It's not going to give me too much work. So I think the hunt is still on for that perfect sunscreen. But this is definitely one that I'd still use. It's definitely not a waste. It's definitely one that I'd use. But this one is going to take, yeah, I'd still want something that is, you know, a little more ideal. for my situation. If it can work for you and you're gonna be at home, then fine, because you know you're still supposed to apply sunscreen when you're at home. So yeah, it's what works for you. For me, it is going to take some time, so I'd use it maybe just on certain occasions, so I can, you know, not have to go through all of that. Yeah, so that's it, guys. This is the first sunscreen I'm reviewing. Please look out for all my other videos. I'm going to be looking at least 5 of them, so lots more to come. Let me know what you think about this one, guys, and if you've used it and how exactly you apply it, so you don't have, you know, this kind of finish. So thanks for watching, guys. Hi guys, so I'm giving another update on my comfy water since I applied it this morning. And a strategy I think I developed is really just to apply small amounts at a time. So I would have, you know, showed you how there was a bit of a residue when I applied a lot of the sunscreen. So I decided to just apply a small amount at a time. So I would apply to all the sections and then apply another coat again, and then maybe apply another coat again, but just a small amount at a time, so I still get, you know, the full amount that is required, but it doesn't, I don't have to put in all the work to, you know, have it blended into my skin. So that's definitely a strategy you can try. So I still love this sunblock because of the fact that I really don't see a cast. I'm wearing it right now. I just applied it a few minutes ago. It's really light. I think I love that the most about it, and it is a physical sunblock, and it's giving me a good amount of coverage, SPF 50. So I definitely am liking this more, that I have come up with that strategy. So if you tend to try it, if you plan to try it, sorry, that's definitely one way in which you can, you know, maximize the results, the desired results. So that's it for my update on the comfy water. Let me know again if you plan to try this one, or if you have tried it, and what is your experience and how you make it work for you. Thanks again for watching, guys.